Hi, being the scapegoat is not an easy job. Whether you're the scapegoat within a relationship or maybe at an organization like a job or within your family system, it's not easy. And when you are the scapegoat, you take on a lot of the blame, which produces a lot of shame and a lot of guilt. And because of that, we have behaviors that we end up doing that are such a pain in the behind for us. So we're going to talk about a few of those behaviors in just a moment. Hi, my name is Olivia, and I'm passionate about helping you understand what relational trauma is so that you can heal and grow and move on with your life. So today, everything is coming from my book, A Scapegoat No More Forever. You can find it on Amazon. I'll put a QR code and leave a link in the description. So when you're the scapegoat, your job is to take on whatever is wrong in the relationship or wrong within a system like a family system or a family structure. And when that happens, you get all the shame, all the blame, and as a result, we spend our lives trying to not get any more shame, not get any more blame. So then we have to be innocent, and then we go to work proving our innocence. And that is such a trap for us. For one thing, it robs you of you just having a life, you just having a regular life that you get to plan and you get to dream. Instead, you're sort of at the mercy of whoever is the most important person within the system in that moment, to make sure that they're not going to run your name in the ground. So when that happens, we can't say no, we don't have any boundaries, we can chase rejection, we end up people pleasing. All of these things come from having been scapegoated. When you're the scapegoat, there usually is a problem in whatever the dynamics of the relationship is. So there really is someone who is doing something wrong, someone who's not pulling the share of their weight, or someone who's just so filled with shame, and so they have really abusive or toxic behavior. And what happens is they don't deal with their shame, and so they end up trying to put it on you. So then they're going to tell people lies about you, say things that aren't true about you, blame you for certain things. And it's really difficult when you're the scapegoat because you also don't see it. You also can't really see how what is happening behind the scenes is impacting you, because we're just so stuck in trying to survive it. So this is where it's so powerful when you finally understand what being a scapegoat is, what it is that's happened to you, and what the other person is doing, so that you can make a different choice. And that choice does not come without a lot of consequence. So for today, just looking at some of those things, not having any boundaries. Well, if I have boundaries and I tell you no, or I tell you I can't, then you're going to go tell someone else that I said no or that I couldn't, and then I'm pretty much going to feel like I get whatever's coming to me in a bad way. I'm going to feel like worse things are going to happen to me, that then I'm going to need help and no one's going to help me, or I'm going to ask and someone's going to tell me no and I'm going to deserve it. So instead, I just make sure I'm super valuable. I make sure I'm super useful. I make sure I'm at your beck and call. I will drop everything to come and help you. And it doesn't matter how you treat me. That's one of the biggest problems when we're a scapegoat. We don't really look at how we're being treated. We just make sure that we're giving above and beyond so that no one can blame us for anything. And that is really no way to live, because you end up not really living your own life. You're living a life that you think others are going to appreciate you for, or that others are going to value you for, so that you don't get in trouble, or you don't get left, or you don't get rejected. And that's a really painful place to be in. So if you're sort of taking inventory, what you can kind of look for is, when do I not say no? But this is where it's really hard for most scapegoats, because we don't mind helping. We're so used to being helpful, and we're so used to being of service, that it's really pretty easy for us to help. We can do a lot of things pretty easily that other people kind of seem to struggle with. So here is a tip. Don't base your yes on if you can help, because if you ask yourself, like, can I do it? Well, yeah, I can. I could do it. I could go do this. I could go do that. But what happens is, and maybe you can relate to this, have you ever had someone in your life where you almost feel like they're just getting you to do things to sort of control you? I'd really have to think about it, maybe even a little bit more, but we tend to attract people who are very controlling, and then they kind of have us like performing for us. They have us jumping through hoops and kind of like dancing for them. So they're giving us these tasks to do, or things to do that you might realize, if you could pull back and see it, they don't really even care about. That's why They're not really ever even grateful. They may treat you poorly even while you're doing something that's just for them. And it ends up being really confusing. Like, you asked me to come here and do this for you, but now you're giving me the silent treatment. Like, I don't understand why you would do that when I'm going out of my way to help you. So this can be where we're going to start to pay attention. If there is someone who is constantly asking you to do things for them, that is going to maybe prick your ears now differently so that you can start to pay attention. Because a great kind of line for us who struggle in when to say yes, when to say no, is if this person can do it for themselves, you need to let them do it for themselves. So it's sort of like, oh, my house is such a mess. My house is so messy. Well, if I'm a scapegoat, then I'm like, well, I'll come clean it. I immediately want to go there and clean it. So then not only then are they going to think that I'm good, and then they're not going to believe anything that anyone tells them that's bad about me, or they're going to tell other people I'm good. This is what I'm hoping, right? Not in a way that I can get credit for it or that now I can get some acknowledgement, but it's just all about staying away from being bad. That's like my whole goal. But instead of that, if I said, okay, are they injured? No. Are they ill? No. Is there any reason why they couldn't clean the house for themselves? No. If they just don't feel like it, or they just let it get so dirty that now they don't want to deal with it, well, that doesn't have anything to do with me. So I may say, oh, it sounds hard. Yeah, some days I don't want to clean my house either, but I drink some water and I throw on some YouTube or a video, and then I just get motivated, I start cleaning. That's what I do. So I'm not going to go jump in and just do it for them if they can do it for themselves. Now, if it's someone who is ill or is immobile, or, if there's something physically, a physical reason or any other type of reason that they couldn't do it, well, then, yeah, I would consider that and I would probably go help them. But if it's someone that can do it for themselves and they're just not doing it for themselves, well, then that is something altogether different, and that is going to be my line. So if you're asking me to do something for you that you can do, then that you could do for yourself, I'm not going to do it. So you probably can think back on stories of where you have overextended yourself, you have sacrificed, and those are all good things. But in the end, like you went home crying, or that person never, didn't talk to you anymore, or they treated you so bad while you were there. You felt like nothing. You felt terrible the whole time you were there. It was very uncomfortable, or they were very rude to you. It's almost like that is more of a game. That's more of a dance that you were performing, and you were just being used and abused. And if you're a scapegoat, that is what we want to learn to recognize and to start moving away from. But it is a process. So today is just about thinking, okay, do I not have any boundaries? If you don't have any boundaries, that means someone can treat you any way they want to treat you and nothing changes. So if I have boundaries and someone treats me poorly, I may say something like, hey, don't do that, right? I don't have to threaten. I don't have to say what I'm going to do if they do that again. I may choose to say, if you don't quit screaming at me, I'm going to leave. That would be a boundary. So that's my line. Quit screaming at me, or I'm going to leave. The line is don't scream at me. I can't control if they scream at me or not, but if they scream at me again, then I can just get up and move my body. I can leave. So the same thing, if you're going to ask me for favors, I'm going to help you, you're going to treat me poorly, then I'm probably not going to do favors for you anymore. And I may express that, or the next time they ask me for a favor, I may just be doing something else. Like, no, I can't, I'm doing this. Or yeah, that's not something I can help you with right now. So there's lots of ways to say no. It doesn't always have to be a flat out no. So just paying attention, and we don't want to get transactional, right? I only do this for you if you do this for me. That's completely different. What we're saying is we want to stop signing up for punishment. We want to stop signing up for abuse. We want to stop having no boundaries in our relationships, which just means there needs to be reciprocity. And even if maybe I go help clean your house, you don't necessarily have to come help clean my house, but I'm showing you kindness, you show me kindness. If you're just doing that proverbial, like casting your pearls before swine, we're not supposed to do that. That's someone who's just wasting our time. You're not really doing anything for them or teaching them anything. They are trampling on you and wasting your time. And we're not supposed to do that either. So again, you can find all of this and more from my book, Escape, Go No More Forever. I will put the link in the description. I will also link in the description a full course that is available on my website, so you can walk through the entire thing with me. I'm wishing you all the best. You can go watch these other videos that are going to be on the screen to help you understand more about relational trauma and how to overcome it. Take good care, and I'll see you in the next one.